Good Sunday morning, everybody. Welcome to Sunday with Spirit. For my new people, this is not a political poll. This is Sunday with Spirit. Whatever time you're watching, wherever place you're watching, we are imagine the energy of this collective just staying and growing and adding to each other, and this energy stays throughout the whole week and longer. I did a show with Nancy Jean that's going to be airing today, and I encourage you all to go check out her 9 candles. Very powerful, and it's all about the shift of energy and how to stay safe in that shift in energy. And she has a bunch of different points of view from different readers talking about the energy shift and how to stay safe in it. So I encourage you all to go check her channel out. But today, what I wanted to look at, as this group that we have assembled comes together, and as we come into, I almost feel like it's a sacred indoor space today. And it could be like this. A lot of times I'll think of a pyramid, but today I see this dome. It's and as we come into this ceremonial dome with a ceremonial fire in it, and we come in just to get quiet, listen to our angels, listen to our guides, to our gods, source energy, whatever term, earthly term we want to put on it that's comfortable for you. And as we settle down to pray and to get quiet, the question I want to ask is, how come I feel that some of my prayers are not heard or not answered? And as soon as I say that, I think, well, what am I not hearing? That's the question. What am I not hearing? So, when I start off with trying to put it on somebody else, it needs to come back to me. But it's better if I put it off to somebody else, because then it's not me. You know what I'm saying? All right, so I'm going to pull the camera down. So, I have 3 rows. The Halloween deck, this represents scary thoughts, earthly things, us dealing with stuff here on the earth. And then I wanted to move out into spirit world, but I needed a map, so I'm using Colette Baron Reed's Enchanted Map Oracle deck. And then for the Spirit, Sacred Earth Oracle. It's, again, I'll say this. It's really important to interpret these cards according to your situations. My interpretations are good for some of us, but your situation, something may ring really true to you. And you can pick a row, you can pick a column. Maybe you're just stuck here or here or here. And you can go diagonal, you can do the whole thing. You can also go that way too. So try not to be linear as to 1, 2, 3. You can go 1, 7, 5 and see where that goes. So what would 175 be? 1, 2. Well, one up, 1, 2. Okay, you guys get what I mean. Okay, here we go. So the first card, why do we not hear? Why do we not hear the answers to our prayers? And this can also be, why do we not hear our angels when we get quiet and meditate and we say, can you show me who you are? Can I hear your name? And we don't hear anything. That could also be it. Why are we not hearing spirit or guides? So let's see what the Halloween deck has to say. Oh, 5 of bats. Okay, bats are swords in regular tarot, if you all read regular tarot. So, interesting. So here you have, and this is a winning at any cost card. Somebody is stealing something from these clowns. That clown looks like he's part of this guy, though. And then you do have the one kid that's like, you took all my candy. You took all my stuff. And then you got the bats just flying around like crazy. So, is this like somebody, wronged you, somebody hurt you? I mean, we all have had that. Somebody took your stuff, your possessions, and you're like, wow. So how does that kid, that cat, get out of that funk and raise his head up again? So when he's praying, is it going to be like, strike them down, 5 of swords, strike them down? Or is it going to be, just get me my candy back? Or is it going to be, just let me be okay with what happened, and I'll be a little more careful next time? The map card is strength. So to get out of this funky energy requires strength. And when I look at this card, I'm trying to straighten it out for you, sorry. When I look at this card, it's also about balance. It's about I'm trying to think of the word, inhuman strength. How does that woman on one leg hold a world in one arm? So graceful, too. How does she do that? So it's not just a physical strength. And then she has all her orbs down here. And when you look at her, it's an intention. It's a clear focus. I'm standing on one leg, holding the world in one arm, while focusing and pointing one leg, one foot, and directing my vision towards one goal. So instead of like paying attention to all the crazy bats that are going around in your head, get focused on the direction you want to go to. And then the Sacred Earth Oracle. I have to remember what deck I'm using. Perception. That's a great card. Why do we perceive that we're hurt by this guy taking our candy? Candy rots your teeth. Maybe it's a good thing he took it. It's just a perception. No, but it was mine. Yeah, but it was poison. Yeah, but. Perception, how we look at things, how we look at this Five of Bats card. This strength is also a perception too. There's no way I can do that. There's no way I can lift up a world in one hand and balance on one foot. Who says you can't? It's a perception. All right. Row 2. Oh. 9 of Bats. 9 of Swords. Worry, 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 worry. Man, there's a lot of bats in your belfry. Not mine, yours. And the cat is going, hey, come on now. Come on now, it's okay. But you can't see the cat because you have covered your eyes. You, meaning this person here. Meaning me. Anyway, we're so focused on the worry, on the pain, that we can't see anything else. And that may be really real, but it goes back to that perception card. Mountain. Wow. So how do we get from 9 of Bats? The path is the mountain. So this worry, this 9 of Swords energy of just up at night, can't stop thinking about this mountain of troubles. And we're not looking at the light shining on the opening of the mountain. We're just looking at the anguish of the trouble. And we can go around this mountain fairly easy. We can go through this mountain. It looks like there's water coming out of his mouth. So maybe there's an entry on the backside and we can just take our little kayak, float down, maybe even in an inner tube, and flow right through the mountain. The mountain is not an obstacle that you can't get around. You can get around here, you can get around here, you can come right through the center. And you have 2 birds flying up here. Maybe those are the bats. All right. So we have to get around this mountain. Surface. 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 It's kind of the perception of it. There's 2 ways to look at this mountain, this worry. Sometimes you have to go deep into the mountain and just kind of meditate inside a sacred mountain, inside Mount Shasta maybe. Do a deep, don't just play on the surface with this, go down deep to see what is the root cause of this worry? Is it something that you should be worried about? Should you not be worried about? So when it goes to prayer, this feels like it's more about getting quiet, getting meditative, and digging a little deeper to hear the answer. We may not want to hear what the answer says at first, but as you go down deeper and we kind of let go of things that we're attached to the outcome, so often we're just attached to the outcome. I want it to be this way. Well, it's different. It's not your way. So how do you make it the best way for you? How do we make this mountain not a mountain anymore? You thought I was going to say molehill. All right. Let's go on to the third row. The Knight of Imps. Knight of Wands. Inspired action. A little mischievous though, right? So this could be something that we did impulsively. And we're going, why do I keep doing that? Why do I keep being a jerk? Why do I keep, saying things that I shouldn't say? A repetitive, impulsive, I don't know. But it is inspired action. It feels like, the intent is good, but it just didn't turn out good. I hope I'm not the only one that has happened to. Well, I hope I am. Why would I want to wish that on anybody? So the map to and maybe this in prayer, getting back to in prayer, getting away from the tarot. This is, I have inspired action that I'm praying for. Hello, I have inspired action that I'm praying for. Do you hear me? And you're not getting an answer. And the map is the bone collector. This guy is sitting in the middle of his own circle with his sacred items, with his inspired thought around his head. So we have two cards that are giving us inspiration. It's a number 1 card. Consistency. Consistency. Awesome. So, your inspired action, this impulsive, inspired action. I got this great idea. I got this great thing. This is going to happen. Make sure you get quiet with it and be consistent in your prayer. You just can't say a prayer and let it go. The prayer needs to be a little repetitive, I think. And it needs to be passionate. This guy's certainly passionate. And visualize it. See what you can do. See what you can lift. think it goes back to, and just be happy with where you are in the process of collecting all of these ideas, these passions, the inspired actions. But stay focused on it. These two cards really are like one. Strength in the mountain. You do have strength in mountains. They're big, solid. Your perception and surface, it's your perception. Are you looking at a mirror image? This is a woman in, it feels like water. Is she floating, or is she just underneath the surface? And I go back to consistency and strength. You can't be that strong without practicing that. It just doesn't happen. Well, it doesn't happen for me. Every time I try to lift up the world with one hand and balance on a foot, I fall over. It takes practice, consistency. And it takes a quietness. These three cards. Being quiet in the mountain, the perception, and kind of floating in that knowing space that everything's going to be okay. This guy is not worried that things are not going to turn out. And you wonder, because you look at it and you go, what do you have? He's like, I got it all, man. Look at that. I got it all. I got time. I got a rabbit. I got a peacock feather. I got a little goofy hair thing sticking up. He's got it all. So it feels like to me, when I look at this, why are we not getting the answers that we want? It feels like that, again, that we're getting the answers that we need. It's all about perception. It's all about being consistent. And this card, when I look at perception and surface, because a lot of times I will ignore things that show up. I will ignore synchronicities. And this is like a synchronicity. You just have to be perceptive in what comes to the surface and be consistent in the prayer. And what happens if we never, ever, ever get the answer? Isn't it better to be in this place than to be in that place? I would much rather be floating than worrying. And that's where I have a bunch of strength. All right. right, you all. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you all for allowing me to join you on this Sunday with Spirit. Peace and love.